Hello, everybody. No, that's the wrong button. There we go. How are we all doing today? Everything's working good. I had to double check. So we got two jobs that we need to do today. One is harvest, one is bale. At least as far as I can see. I might be wrong. I am asthmatic hedgehog in disguise. Ethan, Simman, Joe, Hedgehog, Leaky. I saw Michael in here. Hello, Henry. Refuel. Okay. More coffee. Phone charger's on the way out. Mine is too. Speaking of, is it charging my phone currently? It is. Good. Another job, carting. I guess carting is a job too. When will I do some plowing? I try, Henry, and avoid doing plowing on stream if I can at all avoid it. In fact, Shamrock Valley, one of the things that I was doing, and I'll tell you this right now, one of the things I was doing to prepare the map was plowing the fields. All the fields. Is it sunny outside? Kind of. I'm only using the one light today. Yours says it is, but it isn't. Try closing all the apps that you're not using, Ethan. Usually it's that the phone's using as much energy as you're putting in. Can I use the tiny JCB with the baler? I've done that already, Spudman. If you didn't see that 2 days ago, then I'm sorry, but you missed your chance. Hey, Dusty. It looks darker. Yeah. I'm kind of experimenting around with lights. Just to see if I can use the one light in the winter for electricity saving reasons. Also, it's a lot less hassle if I've only got the one light on. But you did see it. Then why are you asking me to do it again? You had a lot open. Yeah, that's probably your problem, Ethan. Am I in Northern Ireland or the Republic of Ireland? The Republic of Ireland? Way down south. Hello, smell me larger Germing. You need to get your name back on screen. Well, Michael, bear in mind that Shadowbox has two jobs and is a good friend of mine, so he might want to take that position back. Also, guys, I'm gonna do this again because why not? If you're into flight sims and you're interested in air hauler, like what I do, he's actually doing a really good air hauler series, Shadowbox on YouTube. And it's something that I refuse to miss an episode of. I will have, and I'm gonna reveal a small bit here. I'm going to have an FSX mini series coming up soon. I'm doing something in air hauler that is worthy of a mini series, and that's coming soon. I'm actually recording it all before I start even editing it and getting it ready. You can't get your brakes shut off in FSX. Is it saying parking brake? Because if it is, what you do is you hit the brakes, the normal brakes. You're poor at the moment. I'm poor at the moment too. No, just brakes. That shouldn't happen. You might have a control band up wrong somehow. How is Dave? Dave is good. What was I going to say? Remind me of where I was going, Spudman. What did I say before I apparently changed tack? Where did the bale go? I pushed it along with the harvester. Or did I accidentally just knock a bale underground? Is that something that you can accidentally do with these bales? What? You can apparently harvest through them, which is kind of amazing. What was I doing? Yeah, I'm lost, Spudman, I'm sorry. I pushed it. Yeah, I pushed the bale, but... Oh no. This bale is actually stuck under the harvester. I'm gonna have to get it with the bale trailer. So I'm gonna just leave the harvester there, because we do have 2 more fields to do yet for harvesting. That is interesting. Typical Dave, pretty much. Let's get this wheat into storage. And then I suppose we'll do some baling, and we're gonna have to collect the bales as well, which is something I wasn't particularly planning on doing today, but because I want to try and get the harvest done as soon as I can. Do soybeans grow in Ireland? I don't think so, Leaky. I might be wrong. I don't think so. I think they need hotter climates. So let's grab the baler. I want to finish this field for sure. Day off work, Il's house. You thought you'd spend the day making 1,000 straw bales on Oakfield. That's definitely a way to spend the day. I don't know if it's necessarily the best. But definitely a way to do it. Thanks for bringing vids and streams. I give you so much inspiration. I haven't made a video in weeks. Other than the FS19 stuff. Although, obviously, I'm currently recording the mini-series in FSX. Which I should actually, in theory, finish tonight. Let me just check my little book of flights here. So I did that flight last night. This flight I can do tonight. This flight I can 100% do tonight, and that one might be real time. Corn. There is definitely corn grown here, but it's usually used for silage. It's usually used as fodder maize. Evening, Aggravate. And Super Dexter, hello. So yes, I do actually have a little book there that I've written down my flights in. We're gonna see some stacking. No, Payne, I'm not gonna do any stacking. I'm gonna just use the auto stacker. If memory serves, I'm doing this because I actually need straw bales for the cows. You like my stacking? Yeah, but the auto stacker's faster. A bit more YouTube friendly. Is Castle I'm guessing you mean cattle, the main product of Irish agriculture. Yes, and the most profitable. Irish beef is very, very highly regarded as some of the best in the world. Just did you harvest and bale all the straw? Fair enough, Dave. What baler did you use? Here's the real question. What baler were you using? Because it's easy to make 1,000 bales with this thing. If I bring up the thing here, yeah, I've made 435 bales on this map, and that's probably close on double what I've ever made in any map before. Of the bigger bales. Just checking for you play Shamrock. Yeah, it's mainly cattle. Chrome Big Pack. Oh wow, that's... yeah, it's suddenly a lot more impressive. I do have a baler that I've not put into any saves intentionally so I don't accidentally show it off before Shamrock. And I start on that. So there is a secret baler I got for Shamrock that I really like. And it looks really good. Fits what I want perfectly. Cheaper than mainland Europe. Believe it or not, in mainland Europe, Irish beef costs a hell of a lot more than it does here. Because it's seen as a delicacy. It's actually very highly prized. If you go to Paris and you order beef in like a really top tier restaurant, it'll be Irish. Is it McHale? It is not McHale. I will tell you it's a square baler, so it can't be McHale, because McHale only deals with rounds. In terms of making balers. When is Shamrock coming out? When it's been tested by Giants. It's not even gone into Giants testing yet. It's been sent to them. But I think Giants are taking a bit of a break from testing after Gamescom, which is completely understandable. But, hey VF. There's no news on Giants testing. At all, as far as I'm aware. I didn't check the topic today, but yesterday there was no news on Giants testing. There's no news on Shamrock specifically. If there was, I'd tell you guys, and if there was, I'd probably be on Shamrock right now. You know what? Oh, the terrain there's a bit wonked. It's getting very late in the day for it. Well, I mean, it was a map that was only submitted like a week or so ago, and Giants have almost every tester on FS19, so it's not really Oxy's fault, and it's not really Giants' fault. It's just kind of a perfect storm for it to get delayed towards the tail end of 17, really. I get the feeling that if it's not put into Giants testing soon, that Oxy might... well, I should say, it has been through a form of Giants testing. It has got the console tests done to find the errors for console. So that's a big, big thing. That's the thing that would have held them up the most. That's already been done. But that's not really a test. That's just them opening it up and sending Oxy the console error log. So I think Giants are trying to get it out as quickly as they can, as well as Oxy obviously trying to get it out as quickly as he can so you guys can play it. But it's just at the moment a perfect storm of everybody's kind of delaying everybody. And the fact that it was submitted like a few days before Gamescom, yeah, maybe not the best time to submit something. Speaking of, I need to send an email tonight that I've been meaning to send and putting it off, and I need to send it tonight. Still no change on testing list. I wouldn't expect to see a change on the testing list until next week. At this point, I think testing is taking another week of a break. I just hope that they haven't like completely closed testing without telling anybody. Like that would be the worst case scenario. Is Giants have closed testing silently without telling anybody about it. I doubt that would happen, but it's something that this stands off ill this week. Ah. Yes, that would cause extra problems with getting stuff released from the community manager, wouldn't it? I didn't know Lizardtown was ill. This is news to me. Then again, I don't really go on the Discords all that much. Usually when I'm on Giants Discord, it's because I've heard that there's some drama happening and I want to watch the world burn. Where did I put the trailer? I think I know where. Oh my god, cows, why? Oh. Oh. I may need to update this map. I'm not blaming the schools for this one, Jim says. I think it's something to do with the map. I think it's people just aren't too interested in the map. Table manners mod, yeah. Although I don't think it's going to matter. I think this is possibly / probably going to be the last stream I do on Gwenddwr. Because it's just not getting as many views as I'd like. So I might look up a new map for maybe not tomorrow, but within the next few days. I should update to V2. What a difference. Latin, no. I'll think of something. Starting to run out of maps, yeah. Slowdown's in full effect. Didn't see that yesterday. I had a perfectly good stream yesterday. When I wasn't on this map, interestingly. I do have an idea of something I can do. That is a bit different. So, it won't be the end of the world if I do decide to stop this map. Got something in mind. 51 watching, I'm seeing 44. Hey, Dal. I saw that you're taking a break from Discord, Dal. If you want to... I think I know why, but if you want to shoot me a PM and just let me know why, if you don't mind. I'd appreciate that. If you don't want to send me a PM, you don't have to. I'm just kind of curious. Although I think I know why. And it's not something I'm going to say on stream. Thanks so much, Dal. Where's the thing? No, don't! Wait, I need those bales over... Ah! Oh, crap. The bales are supposed to go to the cow yard! Oh well, pick up bales from the pig yard, well, the pig fields. People starting to appear. Yeah, suddenly. Oh, thank you, Michael. I appreciate that, dude. This week you'll only... After this week you'll only be able to watch the VODs. That's fine, dude. I'd love it if I could do some more US-friendly streams. Like some streams at like late my time, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock my time, just so that the granted few US viewers that I have can watch a stream live and interact live. I'd also love to do one that's kind of Australia friendly, but I don't think I'd be awake at those times. Well, I would be, but everybody else would be asleep. Right. Back to the cow yard, because this is where those bales are supposed to go in the first place. GT Dave, you fool. You should be getting back to work next week. Yeah. I really wish I could stream at more America-friendly times, but once it gets to a certain point in the night, it's dinner time, and then... This shows how regimented my life is. Dinner time, and then time for a cup of tea, and then everybody goes to bed. Because after dinner, there's the obligatory cup of tea, because Ireland. Right, let's... Where did I put the... I don't want to put them there. There will be nice. Where did I put the loader for this tractor? I think it's over in the kind of main part of the yard over here. That's the one for the Fiat. Yeah, that's the one for the Fiat. Unless, of course, the Fiat has the loader on. No, that is, in fact, the Fiat's loader. The one for the case is over here, because you can see it's much taller. What time would I do for Australia? I honestly don't know. Like, midnight to 3 AM my time, I guess? Starting sometime around then. No, it's Y and Z, isn't it? Yes. When we say we're having tea, is it a meal or is it... So when I say tea, it's usually like supper. When I say a cup of tea or a cuppa, it's usually the drink. So when I say like oh, what about it? Probably 8 o'clock actually tonight. It'll be tea time. That'll be meal food time. And it depends on the person as well. And I am fully aware that the loader I have on this gets stuck on it quite regularly. But it is one of the best solutions to the how to stack the bale problem. Jack Maxim, hello, and thank you very much for the £2 donation. Well, super chat, I guess. It's not quite £2 that I'll get, but oh well. Thank you, YouTube. Dang it. Eh. Nyeh. There we go. Hey, GD. This is distinctly not how a tractor should look. It's either lunch or supper. Yeah. it's kind of a bit up in the air. Yep. Trust me to manage to get the tractor stuck in a tree again. Apparently that's the new thing instead of gates, is me getting tractors stuck in trees. Or equipment, like giant beet harvesters. Yep. Okay, so that's... The joy of this loader, this is the grab from the Straw Add-on DLC, which I really... I'm kind of in two minds about the Straw Add-on. Because the Straw Add-on... This bale grab and the what you call it, the pelletizer, both really good pieces of machinery. The balers, however, are a bit messy. They've got way too many polys for my liking, and it's kind of a bit of a hot mess. What shaders do I run? I run Reshade with shaders made by Mr. Simulate, who has still not updated his shaders and uploaded them. But this bale grab is definitely like one of the best. Well, basically any 4 bale grab. I think Black Sheep made one at one point that was a Kerfab or something. Yeah, and the balers in Straw are a bit too heavy as well. But they're like... There's always negative stuff you can say, but why not focus on the positives? You know, the Straw does have some fantastic equipment, some fantastically made stuff, and this bale grab, honestly, is the star of it for me. It might seem a bit silly, but when it works as well as it does here... Did you know you can put messages for free? I'm sure he knows, but he's just feeling very generous. Thank you again, by the way, Jack, for the second £2 super chat. They're incredibly helpful. There we go. 65 in watching. You can see that. I'm seeing 62 now. Shame it wasn't a hiss on that on. Yeah. Or, as CD would say, shame it wasn't a 4 before add-on. He wants his 4 before bales. So much. Saw a lad playing multiplayer on iRacing last night, cut across the corner and completely take out every person on track. That might have been Scott Speed. That's, that sounds like his, MO. Speaking of iRacing, I was on it last night doing some practice, learning a new car, and kind of I was just looking through the names of the people in the practice server, and I came across one that was familiar, very familiar, because one name stood out, so I clicked on it. I saw a very familiar looking helmet. Because that name was Rubens Barrichello. The same Rubens Barrichello. It was the real one. That used to drive in Formula 1 and used to be Michael Schumacher's teammate with Ferrari and won Formula 1 races. So that was cool. that was very different. That genuinely, like, yesterday's stream was really good and I was really happy with it, but I'm gonna be honest, seeing one of my all-time favorite Formula 1 drivers in iRacing just made my day yesterday. Highlight of the month? I think so, Yanis, yeah. He's not doing Formula 1 anymore. No, he retired from Formula 1 years ago. He's now doing, and I actually looked it up yesterday, Brazilian stock car racing, which is very competitive. At his age, he's 46. It's actually kind of impressive that he's still in a very competitive young man's sport. What's the name of this bale grab? It's the one from the Straw Harvest add-on. Didn't he win? He won many. He won 10 or 15 Formula 1 races. But it was genuinely like. David Coulthard's your cousin? That's awesome, dude. But for somebody who loves motor racing and loves that era of Formula 1 particularly, by the way, I'm just going to dump the rest of the bales into the sell point. It was genuinely cool to see one of the drivers I respect the most to this day. You know, and to, albeit virtually, share a track with him. And not only Rubens was there, but his son Eduardo Barrichello was there as well. So it was just kind of awesome. You moved house temporarily and the internet's good. Why have you moved house, Massey? But there was something else. Oh, sorry. Yes! Fahy has got fiber lines in his area now. Mr. Fahy might actually get good internet at some point in the next little while. You shot me a message on Facebook, all in caps. Fiber lines have been laid down my road. House is too small and too far away from your land. Fair enough, I guess. So, Fahy's a happy bunny today. He might not have Sputnik for very much longer. Haven't seen him in ages. He lurks. He lurks. Plus his internet is made of potatoes, and I think he primarily uses mobile internet to watch streams. So, he doesn't tend to watch much. Hello, hello, bucko. I know for sure he won't be around with the Shamrock stuff. Because he hates looking at maps before they're out. Absolutely hates it. And I respect people who do that, because I do it myself. You know, I understand why people do it. I do it myself. It's possibly a really good idea. We shoot a fiber line. You get like potato up and down. There we go. That's the bailout from under the harvester. So on to the next field we go. Hey, bucko. You not seen his name for a while? He's around. Don't worry. Fahy watches. Fahy's around. Paved them up with the fiber line. Yeah, the difference is you're like 6 miles from the nearest cabinet, VF. I should probably refuel this at some point, shouldn't I? Just in your homework. Give us a break. The game on console you didn't want to play. Yeah, I mean, there's an upside and a downside to watching the maps before they're out, because it's cool to see them, but... What's my favourite DLC from FS17? I'm gonna have to say the Modern Classics. It's just got stuff that I prefer using. If a baler isn't seasons ready, will you lose the bales? Yes, immediately. It'll take over to midnight and the bales will disappear. Did it go lower on fuel? I definitely could, that's the thing, is... This thing doesn't have as high fuel usage as people seem to think it does. So I could let it go a lot lower on fuel and get away with it. Yeah, unfortunately, if the baler's not seasons ready and you try and use it with seasons, you'll just lose the bales. Which is why I'm not going to be using the D1000 on Shamrock, as much as I'd love to, and as much as I think those bales would suit the map. It's not seasons ready, and that's a real shame. The bales would just disappear. However, courtesy of Gwenddwr, who is awesome, I do have a baler that will replace it, that makes bale, well, that suits the map at least. And it suits what I want to go for with the equipment I've chosen. 51 up, 6 down? Do you have that backwards, Michael? Because the upload speed is always less than download. Like, I've got 50 down, 20 up. What nat type am I? Yes. I don't know. Welcome back, Aggravids. I have quick internet. Yes. And it's expensive. 52 down, 15 up. Yeah, that sounds about right. If you're enjoying the stream, guys, do feel free to hit that like button. I'm aiming for 50 likes today. And if you haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe as well. And hit the bell for notifications when YouTube can be bothered sending out notifications. What did I crash into? A tree! Hey, Nick! Your internet's having a bad day today? Mine has bad days every so often. That usually, when it has a bad day, means that it wants to be, the router wants to be restarted, so I just give the router a quick reboot. If it's still having problems, I'll do a factory restore on it, because the settings seem to drift occasionally. You get angry with some... Yeah, slow internet's the worst now. Like, I can live with no internet, but I can't live with slow internet. Can I show in cab? Yep, sure. There you go. I went in cab there for a brief moment. So that's you pleased, Nick. Router rarely makes a difference. Dave logic is your logic. You're assuming I have logic. This... Actually, the in-cab in this is really nice. I need to use this in-cab a bit more often, I think. $5K from the nearest town, cycle that twice a week for training. Is that your training, or do you go to training? I don't have a data cap on my internet. If I did, then I would probably do a whole lot less. Hello, Venus. Probably download a butt ton less stuff, which would make my hard drives happier. Nope. Oh yeah, I left it in the yard, didn't I? Yes, here's the feed. You're freezing cold, so you had a nice hot bath. I need to go for a shower. Probably tonight. Do I like the JD Combine FS19? I actually do. It's the kind of size combine that I'll use. I love using like mid-sized combines. I hate the really big ones, and I'm not too... I like the small ones. Obviously, I'm using the TX 34 at the moment. I like small combines. I like big ones, or like medium-sized ones, but I really just don't like the biggest ones. It took you 20 hours to download GTA 5. It took me... I can't remember how long it took me to download GTA 5. A while. Even on the internet as part of a business bundle, so you can claim the VAT back, don't you know? Oh god, fuck off. You like the T670i specifically? 30-foot header? That's a bit big. I like combines that come with like 18 to 25-foot headers. 30-foot is a bit big. Hello, Yuso. You can't complain about me not seeing you today, Yuso. Hello, Yuso. Yuso is here. Everybody noticed that I noticed Yuso. I know lad who moved into a house and get Wi-Fi for a month. The accident went over allowance and wasn't notified about it, costing €376. Yeah, that happens. That 8400R is such a meme that I'm probably never going to use it. Some of your fields are massive. There's plenty of farms around here that use like 15, 18-foot headers on quite large fields. Just because they're the headers that can fit down the roads. In fact, the ones near me, they're quite large fields. But the only header that can fit down the road, the access road they have, which is actually my road, the road that I live on, they can only fit 15 or 18-foot headers down, so they've got to use small headers on big fields, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to get anything through. And in fact, even at that, they still regularly get the combine stuck coming down the road, because people park everywhere here. I will say though, if FS19 has a really nice classic John Deere, I'll be using that day one. Because I do want to use, classic tractors and stuff. And I do want to use John Deere's. $20-25 foot is the biggest you see around where you are. Around where I am, they do go up to 45-foot headers. But it's literally a case with the fields nearest me that because they need to get it through a housing estate, they've got to use a much smaller combine than they'd maybe like to. They used to use a TX, I think it was a TX 76. But they've now upgraded to a... the model down from the TC590. It's a TC5150 or something like that they're using now. Or a TC5190. It's not a 590, but it's the slightly older model. You take your T670i through housing estates? Yeah, but when a TX, I think it was a 72, maybe a 75, when that was getting stuck because cars were parked either side of the road, and even the new combine they have, which is much smaller, is getting stuck going down the side of the road, or coming down the middle of the road because people are parked either side. It kind of causes, you know, it means they can't get really a big combine into those fields as much as they'd love to, and I know they'd love to, because I know the size of those fields, and I know that it'd be much easier with a bigger combine, especially seeing as I think they use contractors. It'd just be easier. See big New Holland combines? I see them around here, Bucko. I've seen CR10s, CR9s, CR10s doing the fields around here with the 45 foot headers. Yeah, it's around here. If cars are parked in the way, you're allowed a tow truck to move them. Not allowed to do that here because it's a residential area. And the cars are legally parked. There's no parking restrictions here, so if the combine can't get through, all they can do is go up to the front door of the person's house and say, "Hey, could you move your car because I can't get my combine through?" And usually the people say yes, because it's Ireland, basically. You've only seen a New Holland CX. I've seen CRs. Seen Lexions, seen pretty much every kind of combine that's in the game. I haven't seen, actually, the big case combine. But I've seen even the biggest combines in the game. In real life. So, I mean, there's always going to be people who complain about... I'm going to use Landy as an example here. Landy using a Lexion. Honestly, you'd see them in Ireland. They're maybe not the most common, but you'd see them. Biggest you've seen is the TX63. Class seems to be favoured around here. New Holland here, and I can tell you why. It's because New Holland actually have a very big dealership about 10 miles down the road from my house, so they're the easiest brand for the contractors to get hold of for combines and stuff. John Deere's you'd see a few, but not many. The John Deere dealership nearby isn't the biggest. New Holland would have a much bigger presence. Massey, not so much. The Massey, well, the Agco dealership as it is, not the biggest. It's actually tiny. So you see a lot of New Hollands, a decent amount of John Deere's, because, you know, the John Deere guys will do whatever they have to do to get a John Deere. You've never seen a Sampo. I have not seen a Sampo, actually, Joe. You've got a good point there. I've not seen a Sampo. But if you've seen a John Deere W330, you have seen a Sampo. See no Sampos and see lots of them in Finland. Yeah, they're. I think they're Finnish. Jack. Well, I don't know why there are so many Deutz-Fahrs, because there's no Deutz-Fahr dealer. I think Deutz sell through other dealerships. Okay, now I definitely need to refuel the combine, because I'm not going to be able to do that field 8 without being refueled. So let's get this into the BGA, where there's a fueling point. How am I? I'm doing good, Jack. How are you doing? So this is hilariously unrealistic. I'm going to do field 9 before field 8, just because it's closer to the fuel point in the BGA. There's only about 70 acres in total of tillage and all of Leitrim. I heard years ago, I don't know if it's still true, that there were no traffic lights in Leitrim. Is there a different yard on V2? Yes, the cow yard is completely redone on V2. Hello, Glengar. In fact, that's the entire point of V2, is the cow yard is changed up so that the dirt area, which I can show you what the problem is on V1 and V1.1. Real quick, if I zip across the fields here to the cow yard, this is why V2's come out. And it is that the cow dirt area is completely and utterly banjaxed. This actually needs to be at 90-degree angles. You can see that it's not quite running north to south. It's running at a bit of a weird angle. But it needs to be at certain angles, otherwise it breaks. And that's what unfortunately happened on this map. I think you guys banned somebody before his message even showed up in my chat. GG. Carcon Shannon got a traffic light about 10 years ago. If I close this gate, I should be... If I close the gate across the road, I should be able to get into the field. There we go. Message was held for review. Ah! Didn't actually show up in my chat at all. Could you, Klingar, could you be a dear and PM me what was said? Because I'm kind of curious. That held for review thing is the best thing YouTube's put in yet. How many cuts of silage of the farms around me done? To my knowledge, 1. They did a cut there in July. It's in admin chat. Awesome. I'm just gonna real quick tab out and have a look in my admin chat to see what was said. GG, that deserved a ban. And GD laughing at something completely inappropriate. Wow. Yeah, that was definitely an insta ban. You thought all the fields were soybeans. We harvested all the soybeans. We planted down some wheat because I realized I needed bales, and also I think wheat for the pigs. Can I give a hint of what was worth a ban? What was said? And I literally cannot... I can't even PGify what was said. Sometimes I can make things PG. Like somebody having the personality of a cactus. To mean something very not PG. But that, no, I literally can't. Also, mods, feel free to in admin chat guess what personality of a cactus means. 6 or 7 cuts. That's not possible. You don't have access to admin chat? It's how to PGify things that are not PG. Anyone know there will be more mods uploaded to the mod hub? Not a clue. Testing was closed all last week. Lewis, yes, but yeah, thanks, Yanis. That's exactly what it means. Though, you know, After the Flight Sim stream for my birthday, you guys saw a hint of what happens on TeamSpeak. When Sim forgot that we were live. Hello, David. But you know, I'm not PG outside of YouTube. You guys should know this by now. Am I in a different room? Nope, same room as always. I've just only got the one light on. I've got my little desk lamp on. I'm trying to... There we go. Concerned Janssen closed testing completely. I would presume they would at least notify us if testing was completely closed. I think it might be the testing isn't closed completely. It was closed last week, and the guy testing mods might be off this week. Because it is just one person testing mods at the moment. How often am I on Twitch? Not often enough. Who got banned? Somebody you never saw in chat, you saw. Because he came in, said something hilariously inappropriate that was just asking for an insta-ban, and left. Playing my summer car. Why do people... Here's a question for you, Yuso, and people who call this. Why do people call my summer car my finish car? Is this trying to test mods? Nope. To my knowledge, the person testing mods at the moment is Lethian. And that may or may not be actually true, but I have heard that it is Lethian doing all the mod testing at the moment. I know it is just one person. Everybody else is on FS19 duties, which is not only understandable, but to be commended. My summer car is in Finland, that might be why. Yeah. I might actually tomorrow need to... You guys can't see this, which is great. But I've got a problem with my left eye, and I might need to just switch the webcam off tomorrow. Because it's actually really painful. And I know that the... me having a sore eye shouldn't affect the webcam, or the webcam shouldn't affect my eye, but... Oh! Oh, hang on. I think I've just fixed it. Go to the doctor. I don't need to go to the doctor, it's just a sty or something. It's something that'll sort itself in a couple of days. It's just really sore while it's happening. In fact, it seems to have resolved itself. I think it might have been something stuck to the inside of my eye that was scratching my eyeball a bit. It was something in my eye, as it turns out. And it's mostly gone. It's still kind of sore, but just annoying. Slice, like, yeah, like they're just painful. There's nothing you can do about them. They just hurt. And there's no point in going to the doctor and being told, yeah, you've got a sty, well done. Hey, Witchy! What's a sty? It's, a spot on the inside of your eye. Or on the inside or bottom of your eyelid. And it's just really sore. And all you can really do is wait for it to go away. How's Dave today? Dave is good, apart from the sore eye. keep eye drops for him? Yeah, it's not something I'm willing to keep like medication on hand for. I've got like, there's downstairs, there's paracetamol and stuff for when I get a really bad headache that I take when it gets unbearably bad, but otherwise, meh. I'm not the kind of person who medicates for basically an inconvenience. Why don't you put a kiss emoji for me? She knows why, I know why, that's the joke. See you, Viet. I know why, and I know that it is 100% a joke. And some people might get the joke. If you do get the joke, don't share why it's funny. Hey, SFTN. Dal gets the joke. Simulator Gaming gets the joke. See, the fun bit is if you get the joke. If you get the joke, don't tell anybody what the joke actually is. Because that makes it funnier. Glengar, you should know the joke. You know the reasoning behind it too, Glengar. You think you know why? Well, that's it. It's not really funny. You probably don't get the joke, bucko. It's probably not why you think. Do you know it? Maybe? I don't know if you know it, Michael. If you don't, I'll send you a PM on Discord after the stream to explain it. I think it was it Witchy or Landy or somebody let you in on the joke, Glengar? It's something to do with me, is what the joke is. Has my day been? I've been in bed for most of the day. What's this about, a joke? Glengar is still clueless. Hang on. I'm gonna put it in an admin chat. There we go. It's in admin chat and Discord. For the admins that don't get the joke. The mods that don't get the joke, it's in there now. You wanna know too? You could probably figure it out. In fact, you should be able to. Bit of thinking and you might figure it out. Ah, Yanis, you were guessing that. Yeah, that was the joke. A clue? The channel name. The name of my channel is the clue to the joke. I figured caps was appropriate. Figured caps was appropriate. And Bucko, probably, to answer your question. Hey Hector. How are we doing today? I'm doing good. How are you doing, dude? Joe, you're not gonna know. You need to figure it out for yourself, dude. Does the rainbow mean the same thing in my case? Bucko, PM me on Discord what you think. And I'll give you an honest, no troll, yes or no. Does that have anything to do with it? A little bit, yeah. Everybody wants to know what the joke is, and that's brilliant. The joke's getting better now that everybody wants to know what it is. Bucko, just PM me on Discord. I'll give you a genuine yes/no. Exactly, Witchy. Hey, Monster. Monster appears after seeing what I shouted in admin chat. She's like, what the hell is going on? Thought it was rude to ask. Eh. I don't particularly care one way or the other. But I'm not exactly gonna, you know, put it as part of my intro or anything. Kind of enjoy the fact that it's hidden in plain sight. Zandy likes tonight. I believe so, yeah. My name is the joke. My name is the biggest hint you'll get. Did you miss much? Not really, DJ. Everybody's going mental trying to figure out a joke that I refuse to explain, and that I've told everybody that does get the joke to not explain the joke, because that makes the joke all that much more funny. 25 fact sheets due for FS19. Only 25? Wow. I have mentioned it before, yeah. I've spoken about it in passing many times. I quite regularly make jokes about it. 300 vehicles, I have heard the number 250. But that was followed by a plus, so 300 might not be too far off the actual number. I've seen 250 plus. From somebody in a position where I would be willing to believe them. So 300 is probably a close approximation to the actual number. I'm not going to be that guy who sits around counting each and every vehicle. FarmSim tweeted this. Ah! So I can say that it was actually a member of Giants that said... They actually said 300. Oh, was it 300 he said? Was it? You know who I'm talking about, Dusty. And that does hint that fact sheets will start on Friday. If they're starting to talk about fact sheets, that means the first one is imminent. Foxtrot, your chat might well have frozen. If it has, refresh. So yeah, it seems like my guess at the next Friday. Next week, wow. They're starting them late. Because I said this week would be the time that I would expect. Next week would be the absolute latest. So, I mean, I was still right. I still told you so. But, that's, wow, okay. The Sandcastle is your favorite vehicle. That is the single best thing that you can buy in FS19 is a Sandcastle. I'm hoping though that moving closer to FS19, the Giants, I'm going to return to what we were talking about yesterday. I'm hoping that as we move closer to FS19, Giants open up a bit more about modding. Because as things stand, modders have no clue what they're supposed to be trying to do for FS19. Which the longer modders are clueless, the longer it's going to be before we start seeing the first bunch of mods really coming out. So it's in Giant's best interests to start bringing out modding information as well, very soon. Ideally, like tomorrow, you know, ideally within the next couple of weeks, so the modders can really get a good... Yes, thank you, Matt. Matt with his incredible modding insight of Maya sucks. Industry standard, Matt. Industry standard. Rakin just said tomorrow was the first sheet. Tomorrow's what? Is tomorrow Friday? Oh, well, tomorrow is Friday. So I may have been bang on with my guess after all. Because tomorrow's like the last day of August, which they might get, you know, decide is September. It's close enough. Let's empty this out and I'll use the gate that I closed. Black Sheep started on converting. I would guess it's modeling he's doing because there's not a lot that he can do right now to convert. And if he's remodeling some stuff, that's actually great because I always feel like Black Sheep could do... And this is kind of a personal thing. It's not belittling his models. I always feel like his models could do with a bit more attention. No more capacity for wheat. Right. No more capacity for wheat. Somebody's wrong. Somebody's not right there. I think Rakin might have got his dates mixed up. Because he, with all due respect to Rakin, he does have a habit of being a bit disconnected from time at times. He has the same issue I do, which is he works so damn hard on everything that sometimes he forgets what day it is. So I'm gonna have to sell some of this straw. Or straw, not straw. This wheat. Because I need to be able to store some wheat. Silo extensions. Oh, okay, so yeah, he is doing some remodeling and stuff. Awesome. There's too many numbers in his head. He's so good at scripting and at coding that he's just got numbers everywhere and he forgets what day it is. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. If he's here, Rakin, if you're here, Yas, I'm making excuses for you. Don't hate me. But he is genuinely, like, the way his mind works is insane. And he's done so much for FS19. He literally sees the Matrix. Maybe with all the numbers and stuff in his head, he can actually see the future and he thinks he's living in the future. But, like, being 100% serious for a second, Rakin is a wizard with scripting and with numbers and with code in general. I don't know if I can say what he's done for FS19, but I know what he's done. For FS19, I know what he's worked on. 4 Giants for FS19. And yeah, his systems are some of the most impressive that I've seen. He is, number one, a genuinely nice guy. He can come across badly at times. I think he might give a bad impression to some people because he does tend to be a bit blunt with the way he talks at times. Isn't he the one from Seasons? Yeah. He can be a bit blunt with how he speaks. But he is a genuinely nice guy. He will sit down and listen to gripes and problems and issues and try and hash out a solution and figure out what can be done and what can be, you know, what is even possible, what is not possible, what anybody... Yeah, I think it might just be the language barrier. Like, yeah, he's fluent in English, but that doesn't mean he is flawless with English. But from my interactions with him, and basically everybody I've spoken to within Giants, that goes for Rakin as well, and everybody I've spoken to within Giants, they're all just genuinely nice people. And the language barrier can sometimes make them seem blunt and rude, but that's a language barrier in the nutshell. Is they don't know, they might not know the correct way to phrase things. So that it doesn't seem rude. Lethian's awesome. I've not spoken to Lethian. I've spoken to Liz and Rakin. I've spoken to Rakin at length in the past, and he's just a genuinely nice guy. Yeah, Foxtrot, go ahead. I won't reply until after the stream. I won't look at Discord until after the stream now, but I'll give you a reply after the stream for sure. And I will admit that it is strange. Like, I've only spoken to Rakin in private. Rakin's the only one that I've spoken to in any way that could be regarded as private. Lizardan I've spoken to on Discord. I've emailed him a couple of times, forwarding back about something. And they're the only two that I've really had much interaction with. Although there were a couple of times where I was trolling Giants Discord in a pleasant way, you know, the way that I troll. Where I make something up and just kind of see how many people roll with it and just make it more and more silly as time goes on. And a few of the Giants guys jumped on that as a really good excuse to just have a bit of fun. Because I try and make my trolls in such a way that people who know how to troll know that it's a troll. And that it's subtle. Spoken to Leslie in private a few times. I'm not asking. Why have I been emailing? Why what? Why have I spoken to Listertan in private? Because there was something I needed to speak to him in private about. As for Rakan, I was helping him with seasons. I was the first person on YouTube to use seasons, as far as I'm aware, and I was helping with seasons for a period. But everybody in Giants, this is from talking to Sim a lot, and him kind of giving accounts from FarmCon. Everybody in Giants is just nice. They're all nice guys. You've been warned on Giants Discord for talking about stuff you have no idea about. I was talking to Liz about beards. Was it beards? Might have been beards. There were a few different topics that me and Liz kind of had forward and back about publicly, including why dynamic terrain isn't in FS19. I think it was Liz or one of the coders. I gave my presumed reasons, and they basically came in afterwards and just said what he said is the exact reason. And you know, that's the way to. That's how basically how I've spoken to Giants in the past. Is just like I share my knowledge, and I may be right, I may be wrong. You thought it was biscuits? No, they weren't there when the biscuits thing. That was to try and derail. The biscuits thing in Giants Discord was to derail a big argument that was going on. Myself, Sim, and Landy basically parachuted in to derail everything because we were sick and tired of seeing this big long argument that gone on for hours, and we wanted to give the mods a break. Do you know why people got their back? It's because, Dusty, it's because cattle and crops have it, and people think that it's so easy to put in, and you know, just a click of the fingers and it's in. And they see Spin Tires with its dynamic terrain, and they think, oh, Spin Tires has it, therefore it's possible in Farm Sim. No, because Spin Tires, if you look at how Spin Tires works, Spin Tires is just dynamic terrain. There's no real game mechanics beyond the terrain is dynamic. Whereas in Farm Sim, you've got all of the farming mechanics that also happen, and all the farming physics that also happen, and all the farming stuff that needs to be kept in memory that also happens. That in Spin Tires is just dedicated to terrain memory. And as a result, even Spin Tires has this problem, it's horrifically optimized. It's near impossible to optimize. Spin Tires is really good at dynamic terrain, but that's literally all Spin Tires does. And that's as somebody who likes, who enjoys playing Spin Tires, it's just dynamic terrain. And some vehicle physics. But the vehicle physics are very highly dependent on, well, the dynamic terrain. Minecraft, yeah, Minecraft, that's a really good example there, Bucko. But like, Farm Sim can do dynamic terrain. It is possible in this engine. Giants have tried it. Giants have done it. Dynamic terrain could be in FS19 if they wanted it to be. If they didn't care about optimizing the game or having the game, you know, work. Because the way that dynamic terrain works would mean the game would run at about 10 FPS for people with RTX 2080s. And what Giants are doing is they're trying to figure out how to make it in such a way, and they are working on it, they are actively working on it as a long-term project, how to make dynamic terrain work in such a way that it's well optimized and fully integrated into the in-game system. Instead of just being like, oh, that field has been plowed, therefore it's got the plowed terrain going on. Giants are working on a system whereby, and I happen to know this, they're working on a system where gravel would deform in a certain way, concrete wouldn't deform at all, grass would deform a lot, and mud and dirt like that would deform a bit more, and pig mud would deform the most. So that it's not just this effect that happens in fields, but it's something that's fully integrated into the game that would be everywhere and everything. And honestly, I'd much prefer to see Giants work on that than have some gimmicky dynamic terrain that only works in fields on a Tuesday at 4:39 PM and 56 seconds. Hello, Blash. That's the way that I'm looking at dynamic terrain. I think it's the way that most people should. Is that it's... Blue Sky News Iron, yep. It's not something you should want just because it's in fields in certain games. It's something you should want because it'll be when Giants do get it fully implemented. They actually started with silage. Look at how silage works on FS17. That's the very basics of what Giants want dynamic terrain to be. Yeah, granted, it's, you know, very rudimentary at the way that it works with silage, but that's kind of the beginnings. That's not the end of it, that's the beginning, and that's what they've got so far, and they're trying to make that work in a presumably a smoother manner across everything, and that's an optimizational nightmare. Yeah, that's not something that's going to happen in 2 years. Or maybe in 4 years. It might take them 10 years to do it. But when they do it, you know that it's going to be perfect. Or very close to it, and it's going to work. Instead of games like Cattle and Crops or even going back to AgriSim, which did have full dynamic terrain, AgriSim was terrible. I have it on my, I have it in my Steam library. I've played it about twice with this PC, and it can't hit 60 FPS on my PC. That's a game from 2011. That was an optimizational nightmare. Because it was rushed, it was forced, it was everything went wrong with it basically, and the publisher didn't care. What do I think of Cattle and Crops? You have your doubts. I think Cattle and Crops have some great ideas. I think Cattle and Crops are trying some interesting stuff. That may or may not work, I don't know. I think they're going for something very different to what Farm Sim is doing. Because Cattle and Crops is going for a full-on simulation, Farm Sim is more Simcade. And proudly Simcade, and I love the fact that it's Simcade. Because playing Cattle and Crops is the full simulation, because I haven't, I've got Cattle and Crops, I spent money on it, and I feel like I've wasted my money. I feel like I haven't got my money's worth from Cattle and Crops yet. Because it's still hilariously rudimentary and basic. But the big issue with cattle and crops is that it's a bunch of people who, for the most part, I think they've got 2 or 3 people who this doesn't apply to. For the most part, are farm sim modders who have never made a game before in their lives. And that might sound like it's not a problem. You know, a game can't be that hard to make. It is hard to make. Games are hard to make, especially games where they're trying so much. And the big problem cattle and crops have is that right now, the current version of the game doesn't have baling, it doesn't have most things in. And if you look at their timelines, the game's supposed to be out in the middle of next year. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not going to happen. Their original timeline said it was supposed to be out in October of last year. That didn't happen, and I said from day one that wasn't going to happen. Baling is kind of in. They've at least moved beyond dummy objects which were purple and had big white boxes on them. I don't know if the baling mechanics are fully implemented yet, but that's kind of the issue, isn't it? Is that cattle and crops, and this is the crux of the problem with cattle and crops, and I'll be very blunt. Almost everybody working on cattle and crops has no idea what they're doing. They have no idea how long something's going to take, and they keep releasing these timelines that, me looking in from outside, I can look at them and say, well, that's just not humanly possible. I've worked on a game before. I've said this a few times. I was part of a game development group before, and our timelines were horrifically wrong. And I look at everything Cattle and Crops comes out with from the perspective of what I learned back in the day. And I look and I see the exact same mistakes being made. Cattle and Crops is not going to be out for another 2 years. Version 1.0. I'm telling you that right now, because they've got, what is it, 2 tractors, 1 harvester, 1 combine, 1 forage harvester, some rudimentary animal mechanics, some rudimentary crop mechanics, and a rudimentary form of the dynamic terrain they've promised. But no bales. What game developer did I work for? One that I'm not even sure exists anymore, Joe. It was a group of former friends of mine that decided to, as soon as I quit, just completely oust me and go silent. So, because they got offended that I quit a game that I had worked on for free for 2 years to do something that was actually paying me money. Cattle and Crops won't even be out won't be near being out by the time FS19 releases. And on a point that's more applicable, the FS19 market, what they're aiming at, what Giants are aiming at with the Simcade style, is a case of Giants are aiming at everybody. They want the guys who want sims, because Giants know people will make mods to make the game more of a simulator. They want the guys who want arcade stuff, because they know that the default in-game mechanics are very arcadey, and that works well towards the people who want more of an arcadey game. And they can grab everybody in one big circle and say, here's a farming simulator game, this is going to suit pretty much everybody, here you go. Cattle and Crops are going just for the small circle of people, and it is a very small circle, who want a pure simulator. That's not a good... I think they overestimate how big the market is for a pure farming simulator. Whereas Giants, I think, are going down the much better route of a Simcade game. That's kind of biased towards arcade because Giants are very good for modders. And have a lot of stuff that, you know, modders can work with. A lot more than most games do. And Giants know that the modders will make the simulator side of things. That's kind of a big deal. And they also know, Giants also know, that most of the guys who want a pure simulator will be on PC. That's kind of an unwritten rule that the pure simulators are PC. The Simcade stuff is kind of cross-platform PC console. That's not me belittling console, that's just me stating a general fact of gaming is that if you get something on console, odds are it's a rough simulation or Simcade. If you get something on PC and it claims to be a simulator, odds are it is a simulator. If it's only out on PC. Look at Euro Truck, look at iRacing, look at Flight Sims. They're all PC only. There's a reason they're PC only, it's because they need a lot more power than a console is capable of putting out. They are, especially with Flight Sims, wholly reliant on third parties and mods and modding, and that's not something, especially with Flight Sims, with the amount of scripts that mods put in and payware and freeware and whatever, that's not something that Sony and Microsoft are ever going to be happy with. And they're also, for the most part, reliant on, you know, third-party controllers like joysticks and wheels. Train Sim World went to console. There are exceptions. Train Sim World isn't really reliant on the external controllers like joysticks or wheels, so it can go to console. FS19 level used following it comes out massive. I think FS17 woke up the AAA gaming world. We were talking about this on TeamSpeak last night. I'm gonna real quick go over because Lenny's supposed to start in like 5 minutes. So for those of you that don't know and who didn't follow FS17 from the very beginning, Farm Sim had always been kind of a sleeping giant in gaming. And I don't use that term lightly, because when FS17 released, it outsold Call of Duty. That woke up the AAA gaming devs and the AAA publishers to the fact that actually people play this farming simulator game, and maybe we should try and do something about it. That's why Pure Farming exists. Pure Farming is made by AAA dev, and they didn't do any market research. They did the usual AAA nonsense, and they brought out a game that nobody really enjoyed. Giants do the market research. Giants listen to what people say. I know that it might not seem like it at times, but they do. And the results might not be immediate. You know, the results might be that the game you want comes out in 2 years' time, or the bit of machinery you want is in the game finally after 6 years. Look at John Deere. People have been asking for that since FS09. FS19, 10 years later. Hey, look what we've got! John Deere. The Giants listen. Did it actually outsell Call of Duty? It actually outsold Call of Duty. They both released about the same time. Giants and Farm Sim outsold, fair and square, 100% for real, Call of Duty. One-on-one outsold it on Steam. Farm Sim was the #1 bestseller on Steam for 2 weeks solid. That doesn't happen with some small indie game very much. That's usually a powerhouse game getting released. Farm Sim is a powerhouse game. I might not seem it on YouTube with, you know, me having 8,000 subscribers, nearly 9,000, and being regarded as fairly sizable. Simulate having 50,000 or 50, 60,000 being regarded as big. Dagwin just being this ominous death cloud from above, with 400,000 somehow, and you know, being the ominous death cloud. But Farm Sim is a much bigger game than I think a lot of people think. Even Farm Sim players, because I run into this myself, is I think Farm Sim is a small game. Then I look back at how F-17 launched and it outsold Call of Duty. I can't remember which Call of Duty game it was, UKL, but that was a thing that happened. Infinite Warfare, yeah. But when it outsells one of the best-selling game franchises of all time, that's something to stand up and look at. Do I know what John Deere's are on FS19? John Deere 8400R, John Deere 8400R, John Deere 8400R, and John Deere 8400R. Why is my room so dark? Because I don't have my main light on. I usually do. I figured I'd experiment today and just have my little desk lamp on, which is in front of me here. And just see, is that doing anything at all to like the light? I think it might be. I might be illuminated just by my screens. I'm not jealous of Jaguar. I'm actually not. James, I'll be honest. If anything, I feel sorry for him because he's kind of trapped in what he's doing. His viewer base is and it's a small amount of them that do this, but when you got 400,000, a small percentage is a large number of people. His viewer base insists on him being realism is key all the time, every time, and basically want him to make one video all the time, just the same video over and over where he does 3 jobs. And he's trapped with that. On his YouTube channel, his main channel, he can't play anything other than Farm Sim. He can't do anything different, he can't do anything new, he can't do anything fun. Whereas you guys, I know that some of you are only here for Farm Sim, and I appreciate that. That's why the majority of my content is Farm Sim. But I know there's people who are here for me, and people who are interested in other simulators, which is why I do Flight Sim occasionally. I've got a mini-series coming up soon for that, that I'm going to finish recording today, and that I'll start working on post tonight. Not tonight, but tomorrow. Because I got to record some commentary and stuff for that. And edit that together and get it all sorted out. And then that'll be released over the course of, spoiler alert, 6 days. It's going to be 6 episodes over 6 days. And you'll see when it releases, when episode 1 releases, why it's over the course of 6 days. But, you know, I don't see myself as being a one-game guy. You guys know I play iRacing a lot. I don't put many videos out, I don't stream it. I'll put it out there right now. The reason that I don't stream iRacing is because I have to use my real name there, and I don't want my real name being broadcast out there to everybody. I might stream it on Twitch, but I don't want my real name being broadcast to like 8,000 people on YouTube. Plus, Twitch has a much more interactive iRacing community, I feel. And Flight Sim, that's just a bit of fun for me. That's one of my games that I just play at night when I want to chill out and just have some background noise, effectively, and something that I can be doing while watching videos. You here for a bit of Farm Sim and Dave? I just know that this isn't only a farm sim challenge. I should try circuit the island of Ireland in the Comanche in one sitting. I could do that, NI. When you see the nonsense I've been up to in a couple of weeks, you'll see why I could circuit the island of Ireland in one sitting. Even with fuel stops. Squirrel also streams iRacing and he's a much bigger community. That's his choice. My choice is that I don't want to broadcast it on YouTube. And more to the point, Squirrel streams on Twitch. We all know my name is Dave McDougall. I will be honest though, that like my absolute iRacing highlight now is of all time is bumping into Rubens Barrichello. Because that was just... I saw the name and I was like, wait, what? Wait, no. Landy is live. He's playing 2 Point Hospital today. Fun fact, I know this because he told me last night. He bought it last night. I'm tempted. I'm really tempted. I'm going to be watching that stream. And probably doing some iRacing practice. I know I don't have my wheel on right now, but I'm putting it up because I want to... practice in the Audi. I might even do a race tonight. Race today, yep. It's a game that I'll probably buy at some point. The problem is that I've got so many games that I want to play that it doesn't really fit into my plans anywhere. I'll be basing my purchasing decision 110% off his stream. Though I have heard a lot of people saying that it is literally just Theme Hospital 2. Which, oh my god, is that a swaying factor, because I loved Theme Hospital. But with that field done, and that little chat done, and all this done, I'm going to leave you guys by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Gwenddwr. Hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, and I'll be doing some more Insanity tomorrow, most likely. Until next time, stay safe, and goodbye.